All right, it's time to get Mr. Gavaskar into the show now. Mr. Gavaskar, good evening, sir. Thanks so much for joining us. First up, India lost their last 5 wickets for just 77 runs. Now, after a strong batting display on day 3, did this batting collapse of sorts put India on the back foot?
In a way, yes, because if the tail had stuck around and batted till the mid-afternoon session, that would have meant that it would have also ensured that India were pretty much safe. Now, of course, India will have to bat out the whole of the final day. But then in recent times, we've seen that our lower order batsmen, 8, 9, 10, 11, haven't really contributed much. So I think it was too much to expect them to do that this time as well.
Right, Mr. Gavaskar, your take on Rohit Sharma's innings. Now, here's a man who's got a huge amount of potential and talent. Recently scored the highest individual score in ODIs. This time in this innings, 43 of 89 balls. He hit Lyon for a 4 and then gave him the charge again and lost his wicket. Your take on his innings overall?
I think his problem has been shot selection, like it has been with a lot of extremely talented batsmen. He's a talented batsman. I think where a lot of the talented batsmen who have a range of shots, the reason why they fail to make the big scores is because they have so many options, and in trying for those options they make the wrong choice and get out. And I think that's something that Rohit Sharma will have to look at. In order to succeed at the test level, I think sometimes you need to sacrifice a few shots. Maybe it will make you a little unattractive, maybe it will make you a little bit slow, but it will make you very, very effective as far as run making is concerned. And I think that's something that Rohit Sharma will have to look at, because if he has to realize his full potential as a batsman, and he's got enormous potential, then he has to make a few sacrifices in his stroke making.
Right, now Mr. Gavaskar, talking about the Aussie bowling, Nathan Lyon took 5 wickets in India's first innings. Would you say in a sense India was outspun? And if yes, is that a surprise?
I don't think you can call they were outspun when a team has scored 444. I don't think you can say they were outspun. If the team had been dismissed for 144 and Lyon taking 5 wickets, then you could have said yes. But he bowled well. He used the conditions quite well. He's got very good flight. His line of attack is very, very good. His line of attack is like the old-fashioned off-spinners on and around the off stump. And it's quite a joy to watch him. It's something that maybe our spinners should look to do as well.
All right, since you bring up our spinners, let's ask you about the Indian bowling. What was your take on the Indian bowling display overall on day 4?
Well, I think India has really been handicapped by the fact that India really in the last so many years hasn't had a match-winning combination. We had a combination with Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Ishant, Mohammad Shami coming together for the Lord's Test match and doing well in that. But after that, the combination really hasn't quite clicked. And because of the fact that in overseas conditions, our batsmen again are not very consistent, India is forced to go in with 6 batsmen, a wicket keeper, and then 4 bowlers. And unfortunately, amongst those 6 batsmen, nobody is a regular bowler even in Ranji Trophy. So, you know, that is a big handicap. And one can only say that on this pitch, the Indians did the best they could.
Now, since we're talking about the Indian bowling, Mr. Gavaskar, what's your take on young Karn Sharma? Young bowler making his test debut. He's taken 4 wickets. He's, of course, got a long way to go. But what's your initial impression of this youngster?
I like his attitude. What I like is that he's not afraid to get punished. Because look, spinners, and particularly with the kind of bats and with the short square boundaries at the Adelaide Oval, the spinners will get punished. They will concede a few boundaries. But I like the way he kept his head up all the time. I like the way his attitude, he was coming at the batsman all the time. And he gets a wicket which has got something in it. Maybe Sydney, then you know, he will be a wicket-taking bowler. The 4 wickets in his first test match on a very good batting pitch, I think these are pretty decent returns.
Right, Mr. Gavaskar, Australia have a 363-run lead right now. Are you surprised a little bit that they haven't declared yet? Or perhaps would it be safe to say that there can be an overnight declaration?
I think we'll have an overnight declaration. The Indians, you know, look at the fact that with the kind of T20 cricket being played, now the score is 363. So you're looking at about 4 runs and over if 90 overs are bowled. And that is eminently possible if India get off to a good start. So I think I can understand that the Australians didn't declare earlier. There was, of course, a school of thought that maybe Johnson and Harris should have been unleashed for maybe 3 or 4 overs or 5 overs. But quite clearly, that could have meant that Australia would have been defending about 340 or there about 345. So I think it's a good move by Australia not to declare overnight.
Right, picking up from where you left off, Mr. Gavaskar, and this is one question that every cricket fan here in India wants an answer to. One full day left to play, at least 98 overs to play. Can India save this test match?
Well, I'd look at it very positively. The way they've batted, I'll say, well, can India win this match? If there's an overnight declaration, and if Shikhar, Dhawan, Murali, Vijay, they're very good T20 players, they're very good limited overs players. They get off to a good start, get the team off to a good start at lunchtime. And I think they have to assess the situation clearly at every interval. Don't think too far ahead. Surely when they start the innings, it's a big target. 360 is a big target. So 360 on the final day on a wearing pitch, it's not going to be easy. So they have got to bat sensibly. And if they do that, who knows, they could be in with a chance post-tea.
Right, Mr. Gavaskar, what's your take on Bhuvneshwar Kumar's ankle injury? He's, of course, flying back home. Dhawan Kulkarni flying to Australia as his cover. But how much of an impact will Bhuvi's injury have on Virat Kohli's overall options in the Test series? There is, of course, Umesh Yadav on the bench, though.
Well, it will have a huge impact because Bhuvneshwar Kumar was giving us the breakthroughs in England with his movement in the air and off the surface. And while there probably wouldn't have been as much movement in the air in Australia, he still would have been able to get the ball to move appreciably off the pitch and cause problems. And he bowls particularly well to the left-handers. Australia has got 2 left-handed opening batsmen. So he could have given us the breakthroughs. So yes, it is going to be a huge blow. But once again, I think we've got to look at the kind of footwear that these bowlers wear, because if you don't wear the proper footwear, you are going to get these ankle injuries. That's something that they've got to look at. And as far as Dhawan Kulkarni going in, yes, he will be there, but he'll in all probability be a net bowler, because quite clearly we have seen in the opportunities that he's had in limited overs cricket that the team management doesn't have too much confidence in his abilities. So while the selectors have sent him, it's a team management that will take the call in Australia. And so I think Dhawan Kulkarni will be no more than a net bowler in this Test series.
Mr. Gavaskar, what's your take on Abbott's very strong return to first-class cricket?
Well, I think that is again one, like I was saying, brings out the character in the cricketer, and to have come back from what happened, that will never go away. I'm sure that will be at the back of his mind every time he is thinking of bowling the bouncer. He will be thinking, what will this bouncer do? But having picked up 6 wickets, he would have got 6 wickets not just off the bouncers. He would have got 6 wickets with good bowling. So that's a good sign. It's a good recovery for him, and hopefully he will go on to do better things again, and maybe even play for Australia.
Right, Mr. Gavaskar, thank you so much, sir, for joining us.